I am Dr. Jessie John, Assistant Professor, Department of Anatomy, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today we will discuss anatomy of the posterior abdominal wall. The posterior abdominal wall extends from the 12th rib above to the pelvic rim below. It is strong and stable because it is constructed by bones, muscles, and fascia. It supports retroperitoneal organs, vessels, and nerves. The posterior abdominal wall is constructed as bony and muscular part and fascia, that is psoas fascia, fascia iliaca, and thoracolumbar fascia. We will see the muscles of the posterior abdominal wall. These are three muscles, and so is major, iliacus, and quadratus lumborum. We can see these muscles in this picture here. So is major and iliacus, and then quadratus lumborum. So is major muscle take a origin from the 14 flaccid slabs that are as follows. 5 slabs from invertebral disc between the T12 to L5 vertebrae and adjoining margins of the bodies of these vertebrae. 5 slips form anterior surfaces and lower border of the transfer processes of the 5 lumbar vertebrae. 4 slips form tendinous arches bridging the constricted sides of the bodies of lumbar vertebrae. It will take the insertion into the lesser trochanter of the femur via iliopsoas tendon, and the function is it will acting from above, and it is the chief flexor of the thigh at the hip joint, and acting from below it flexes the trunk on the thigh as in raising the trunk from recumbent to sitting position, and the innervation by the nerves that are the ventral rami of the L1 to L3 spinal segment. So is major, these muscle is present, so is minor, these muscle is present in about 50% individuals, and it will take origin from the side of the intervertebral disc between T12 and L1 vertebra and adjoining part of their bodies. Insertion, it will take the insertion into the iliopubic eminence, and it will be supplied by the branch of L1 spinal nerves, and it is a weak flexure of the trunk. Now we will see the iliacus muscle, and it is a fan shaped muscle and form the lateral component of the iliopsoas muscle. It will take the origin from the upper two-thirds of the floor of the iliaca fossa and inner lip of the iliac crest and upper surface of the lateral part of the sacrum, and it will take the insertion into the anterior surface of the lesser trochanter and area below it, and it will be supplied by the femoral nerve and has the action of the flexion of the thigh and the lumbar part of the vertebral column. Now we'll see the quadratus lumborum. It will take the origin from the posterior one-third of the inner lip of the iliac crest and the lower 2 to 4 transfer processes of the lumbar vertebra, and it will take the insertion into the medial part of the anterior surface of the 12th rib and the upper lumbar transfer processes. It will supplied by the ventral rami of the T12 to L3 or L4 spinal lumbar nerves. It has the action of the lateral flexure of the lumbar vertebral column, and it will extend the lumbar vertebral column. Great vessels of the abdomen are the abdominal aorta and the inferior vena cava. Abdominal aorta, it is continuation of descending thoracic aorta at the aortic orifice of the diaphragm, opposite to the lower border of the T12 vertebra or intervertebral disc between vertebra T12 and L1. It descends vertically downward and slightly to the left in front of the vertebral column and terminates in front of the lower part of the body of the L4 vertebra. It will divide into right and left common iliac artery. Now we will see the branches. Three unpaired ventral branches to the gut and three paired lateral branches to three paired glands, that is the suprarenal glands and kidneys and gonads, and paired posterolateral branches. Above the aorta also give rise to pair inferior phrenic artery and three terminal branches. So you can see all the branches of the abdominal aorta and three terminal branches that will goes to right common iliac artery, median sacral artery and left common iliac artery, and five lateral paired branches to the, that is the inferior phrenic artery and four lumbar arteries, and three lateral paired branches to the viscera, that is suprarenal artery, testicular ovarian artery and renal artery, and three anterior unpaired branches to the viscera. These are ciliate trunk, superior mesenteric artery, inferior mesenteric artery. Now we will see the inferior vena cava is the largest, widest vein of the body, drains most of the blood from the body below the diaphragm into the right atrium of the heart. And formation, course and termination we will see, and it is formed by the union of right and left common iliac veins in front of the body of L5 vertebra and below the aortic bifurcation and behind the right common iliac artery. It ascends in front of the vertebral column on the right side of the aorta. It then arches forward on the right crest of the diaphragm to reach the groove on the posterior surface of the liver. It piers off the diaphragm at the level of the T8 vertebra and terminates by the right atrium of the heart. Now we will see the tributaries of the inferior vena cava. It received the following tributaries. These are three formative veins. These are two common iliac veins, the median sacral veins, three abdominal wall tributaries. These are inferior phrenic vein, third and fourth lumbar veins, and first and second lumbar veins, and in ascending lumbar veins, and three lateral visceral tributaries. These are right and left renal veins and suprarenal vein, right and left testicular ovarian vein. Three anterior visceral tributaries. These are right, middle, and left hepatic veins. Lymph nodes. These are located along the external iliac arteries, common iliac arteries, and abdominal aorta, accordingly termed external iliac, common iliac, and aortic lymph nodes. We can see all these lymph nodes here in this picture. Now we will see the nerves of the posterior abdominal wall. Subcostal nerve, it is the ventral ramus of the 12th thoracic spinal nerve. Lumbar plexus, the lumbar plexus is formed by the union of ventral lemmi of the L1, L3 lumbar nerves and a large upper part of the ventral ramus of L4 nerve. Lower smaller part of the ventral ramus of the L4 nerve joins with the ventral ramus of L5 nerve to form the lumbosacral trunk, which take parts in the formation of the sacral plexus. Now we will see the correlation, clinical correlation. First we will see the psoas abscess. The psoas fascia forms a long tubular sheath called psoas sheath extending from the upper lumbar region of the posterior abdominal wall to the groin. Tubercular infection of the vertebra of the thoracolumbar region causes destruction of these bodies, leading to the formation of an abscess. The pus cannot spread anteriorly due to anterior longitudinal ligament. Therefore, it spreads laterally into the psoas sheath, forming psoas abscess. The pus can also enter the psoas sheath from the posterior mediastinum through a gap deep to the medial arcuate ligament. Pus may then spread downward along the psoas muscle under the inguinal ligament into the femoral triangle, where it produces a soft swelling. Now we'll see the aortic aneurysm. The aortic aneurysm commonly occur below the origin of the renal arteries, usually in elderly men. Most common cause is the atherosclerosis, which weakens the aortic wall. Clinically, it presents a pulsatile and expansile abdominal mass, typically just superior to and to the left of the umbilicus. Compression of the inferior vena cava. It will compressed by the enlarged uterus during the last trimester of the pregnancy and it will cause edema of the ankle and feet and varicose vein in the lower limb, and compression and blockage by the malignant retroperitoneal tumors result in dilation of the anastomotic channel between inferior vena cava and superior vena cava so that the blood could be returned to the right atrium. Clinically, it presents as a prominent subcutaneous vein called thoracoabdominal vein formed due to dilation of the anastomotic venous channel between the lateral thoracic vein, a tributary of the axillary vein, and the superficial epigastric vein, a tributary of the femoral vein. Now there are two assessment questions. These are explain anatomy of the posterior abdominal wall and explain lymph nodes at the posterior abdominal wall. Thank you so much.